like to welcome the Director General of Climate Change Administration and the Ministry of Environment from Taiwan, Ms. Lin Tsai, and our other speaker, beyond Soren Ziegler, which is the Senior Digital and Green Transformation Specialist of the European Commission that we will join us today. Please join me in the podium. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. I do apologize for these small technical problems, but I'm sure that we will do our best to run the program that we have foreseen for today. So without further ado, Mr. Popper, I would like to invite you for the keynote speech as we begin the session.
Yeah. Okay. Can put my PPT on? Did you?
Yeah, I don't know why, but she should be.
Okay, I have prepared the file documents, and then please put my file documents on. Continue with cái档案. Hello, Luis.
Hello, I can see you.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, I will start my speech, but it seems the PPT is not on the screen yet.
Yes, we can see everybody now on the screen, and we can hear you very well. So please go ahead with your keynote remarks.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh, okay. So we will have a photo now, right? Group photo.
Yes.
Okay. Sure. The pen.
Is it on? Please try again. As
So we have made the group photo. Mr. Tom, so you can start right now. Please go.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Distinguished guests, good day. I'm Po Pen, Chairman of the Taiwan Climate Partnership. Welcome to our COP30 forum. Today, I will share how Taiwan's ICT industry is leveraging collective power to address climate change and take concrete actions toward achieving net zero emissions by 2050. Next page, please. Page 2. To ensure that our planet remains suitable for human habitation and suitable development. Achieving net zero emissions by 2050 has become a global consensus. Today, around 140 countries have set net zero targets and having developed mid to long term carbon reduction pathways, along with related legislation. The European Union introduced the CBAM mechanism in 2023, and many other countries are preparing similar measures. Carbon cost has now become a new threshold in global trade, accelerating low carbon transformation across industries. Beyond government actions, major global corporations and technology leaders are also actively driving carbon reduction strategies to mitigate climate impact through concrete and measurable actions. This also leads to whole supply chains of them needing to take aggressive actions. Page 3, please. In 2020, eight leading companies in Taiwan's ICT sector recognized that climate change requires collective collaboration. They jointly initiated what was now become the Taiwan Climate Partnership (TCP). Today, nearly 100 corporate members have joined. Participation in RE100 and SBTI serves as the fundamental requirements for membership. Page 4, please. After 2 years of preparation and benchmarking similar international alliances, the Taiwan Climate Partnership was formally established in 2022. Since then, we have continued to expand our membership and regularly organize climate-related activities and collaborative programs. Page 5, please. The Taiwan Climate Partnership has four core missions. First, international collaboration. Building global partnership, hosts international forums, and actively participating in COP. Second, policy advocacy. Integrating industry needs to provide informed recommendations to governments. Third, industry exchange, promoting knowledge sharing through roundtables and corporate visits. Fourth, capacity building, strengthen both climate knowledge and practical capabilities across all organizational levels. I now will elaborate on these four missions. Page 6, please. The international collaboration. Page 7, please. We promote international cooperation through exhibitions and dialogues. The annual Net Zero City Expo serves as a platform for global solution showcase and knowledge exchange forums where experts, scholars, and industry leaders discuss climate trends and actionable solutions. We have welcomed organizations such as the Philippines CCC, the EU's JC, and EGDC, Japan's JCLP, and JCI for close engagement with our members. Page 8, please. We also organize member delegations to visit international partners. For example, delegations to Japan's Environmental Comprehensive Exhibition help our members exchange ideas, explore sustainability innovations, and sign MOUs with associations and enterprise to strengthen collaboration. Page 9, please. TCP has joined the European Green Digital Coalition, EGDC, and the Global Enabling Sustainability Initiative, JESI, utilizing digital technologies to reduce emissions and advance sustainability. We are also applying for UNFCCC observer status to participate more flexibly and aggressively in global climate negotiations and discussions. Additionally, we have signed MOUs with the Philippines CCC and Japan's JCLP to enhance collaboration on renewable energy, water resources, carbon trading, and green innovation. Page 10, please. We actively participate in COP conferences, tracking in negotiation outcomes and sharing insights with members. We also host forum at the COP alongside international speakers. With Taiwan's strong ICT capabilities and progress in digital transformation, we aim to showcase how digital solutions can enable green transformation and accelerate progress toward net zero goals. Page 11, policy advocacy. Page 12, please. The chairman of TCP serves on the Presidential Climate Change Response Committee, chaired by the President and joined by key cabinet members. The committee regularly addresses national climate strategies, green energy development, regulatory alignment with global trends, budget planning, green investment initiatives, private sector participations, governance enhancement, and digital transformation. Page 13, industry exchange. Page 14, through climate roundtable meetings, members learn about the latest regulations, market trends, digital technologies, renewable energy, climate finance, carbon markets, and near zero building strategies. We also invite experts from Japan, the UK, and the EU, as well as leading corporations to share experiences, enabling members to stay aligned with the global developments. Page 15, because effective climate action requires alignment from the top down, executive leaders is crucial. We therefore organize two-day closed-door strategy and training programs for corporate decision makers, inviting governments, ministers, scholars, and model enterprises to provide guidance, empowering leaders to become drivers of the climate transformation. The class were also welcome and useful. Therefore, had organized three classes in last 3 years and benefits to 72 high-rank executives and a decision maker in the company. Page 16. We also arrange low-carbon learning journeys, enabling members to visit pioneering companies in climate strategy and carbon reduction. Over 250 participants from more than 160 enterprises have benefits from these shared learning experiences. Appreciate to the 8 leading companies who made this learning journey possible and host the visit. Page 17, capacity building. Page 18, to strengthen both knowledge and practical capability, we established the Taiwan Climate Academy. In collaboration with the National Tsinghua University, we launched the Carbon Asset Management Executive Credit Program, which integrates theoretical foundations with the hands-on implementation. Chief sustainability officers from leading corporations also serve as instructors, ensuring that participants gain solid expertise from strategy to execution. Credits earned may be applied towards future relevant graduate studies. Page 19. To summarize, the four core missions of TCP are: 1. International collaboration to advance climate action. 2. Policy advocacy that reflects the real needs of industry to change with government's climate policy. 3. Industry exchange to strengthen collective resilience. 4. Capacity building to empower organizations to achieve net zero emissions. Next page. The COP30 participation. At COP30, TCP will host three major forums centered on the theme of digital empowerment trilogy. Together, create, prosper, focusing on how digital technology can enable carbon reduction and showcasing the strengths of Taiwan's technology industry. We sincerely welcome your participation. Thank you for your attention.
Contribution. Um, it was fantastic to understand what TCP has been doing as well. AUO, you are also the CEO of AUO, as you are also the chairman of TCP. It was great to hear the great achievements that you have been having. And without further ado, I would like to invite Director General Climate Change Administration, Lin Yitsai, for a keynote speech.
Thank you, Louis, and good morning, everyone. I'm Lin Yicai from Climate Change Administration under Ministry of the Environment. Would you please have my PPT? Yes. It is a great pleasure to join you today to share how government advancing digital empowerment and the green transformation. I will highlight the three main ideas: how government is strengthening climate target and the carbon reduction strategies. From this slide, next slide, please. NDC 3.0 is a major issue for this COP30. Taking Taiwan as an example, this involves proposing an emissions reduction target for 2035, a reduction of 36 to 40% compared to the baseline year, to comply with the Paris Agreement 1.5 degrees Celsius pathway, which is equivalent to a 47% reduction from the peak. Next slide, please. Our vision is to build around four main pillars: government as the strongest pillar for the net zero transition, and green growth and the digital transformation as dual drivers of economic change, an inclusive and just transition ensuring no one is left behind. And together, this creates that we call a project of hope, combining regulation, finance, and innovation to achieve a sustainable and resilient Taiwan. Next, please. Next slide. Yes. Since 90% of carbon emissions comes from fuel combustion, the main efforts to significant and rapidly accelerate carbon reduction are focused on mitigation measures in the energy and the manufacture sectors, as well as deep energy conservation in the residential and the commercial sectors. Next. So we believe the most powerful transformation happens when digitalization meets decarbonization. Under this slide, we can understand that from the industrial transformation, the key program is smart and low carbon manufacturing. And in the energy transformation, the smart grid and the demand response are key programs. So we encourage the real-time energy balancing and the clean power integration and the energy efficiency. In the transportation transformation, the smart mobility program will include AI traffic, e-bus fleet, and the green logistic cloud. The most important is the government transformation and the science and the technology R&D. So this year we have the carbon pricing mechanism, and we also promote the AI model and the climate data platforms. Next slide. So we also believe that carbon price will become a new engine for green growth. As I mentioned, the carbon fee mechanism is right now on the way. So carbon pricing is not just a policy tool. It is becoming a new engine for green growth. We are also establishing the Green Growth Fund worth 320 million US dollars to catalyze investment in emerging net zero industries, including green finance, carbon reduction technologies, and the green collar jobs. By integrating carbon pricing with financial innovations, the government plays the role of integrator and the promoter, ensuring that climate policy drives competitiveness and opportunities. Next. Finally, I want to emphasize the importance of partnership, both internationally and between the public and the private sectors. This year, the Ministry of Environment have the MOU with JC, and we also invited the Taiwan Carbon Exchange, Taiwan Mobile, and the Chima to join with together. Recently, we also invite the TCP, the Taiwan Climate Partnership, to join this MOU, and we will implementing JC's net carbon impact assessment methodology for ICT solutions. We also want to deploy JC's digital with purpose, the DWP performance framework certification, and developing a VCM for digital solutions set to launch and we also want to initiate a smart city pilot project and collaborating on AI research for sustainability. So finally, next, I think this is the last slide. In conclusions, our journey toward net zero is not about numbers of targets. It's about building a resilient and a sustainable future together. By combining digital empowerment, green finance, and international collaboration, we are transforming challenges into opportunities for industries, communities, and the future generations. Thank you very much. Thank you.
It's amazing to see the developments that are taking place in Taiwan. As you know, I spent a lot of time this year in Taiwan. We were partners in organizing the Digital Youth Purpose or the AI Youth Purpose Conference, which was a great success. And I am also happy to hear that some of the initiatives that we have agreed to take forward, like the EGDC or the voluntary carbon market or the digital real purpose certification, they have been taken forward. So today we have with us someone from the European Commission, Bjorn Sorenjuga. Bjorn is a senior digital and green transformation specialist at the European Commission. He has been having many roles. Uh, he came also from the German development agency, GIZ, and before that he was at the European Commission, I guess. So he has been moving from one place to the other. But Bjorn has a great knowledge and experience in the digital sector. It's a great pleasure having him here with us because he can explain further not only what is EGBCR all about, where are we right now, but also to talk about EU policies on climate and environment. Maybe you will touch upon Sudan, I don't know, but Bjorn, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Well, thank you so much for inviting me and congratulations on your programs and TCP. I just learned a lot, but I also think that you have so much experience, which hopefully you can also share globally. And Taiwan is always a big leader in the digital sector. So at least yesterday, I hope the numbers are right. About 30% of the economy is actually digital in Taiwan, which is one of the highest, I think, in the world. So, and, but in a lot of the countries in Latin America, Brazil, Kenya, around the world, the digital sector is the fastest growing sector. So in Kenya, for instance, now already between 8 and 10%. So there are a lot of huge opportunities also to work internationally. So now I wanted to focus my remarks, as Luis already said, on our European Union programs, particularly the European Green Digital Coalition, where we've been working very closely with Jason and partners. And we would really like to share this experience with you. And you can also very well use this experience for your own programs and also uh, share the experience with Brazil, for instance. So the first, as I said, the twin transition. So the digital and the green transformation are taking place at the same time. Those are the most significant transitions of our time. The AI, this already mentioned it, is really changing the way our economies, but our societies, and the climate continues to be the main challenge of our times. So that's why the intersections of bringing the digital and the green or the climate transition together is really at the forefront of international cooperation, international economic and sustainable development. So so first the Paris Agreement also very clearly addresses Article 10 that we need technology, we need digital innovations in order to meet our global climate goals. As all of you know, we are pushed a little behind the NDCs globally, so we need to leverage the disruptive technologies and innovations to reach the goals because that's just fundamental. So now, concretely to the European Green Digital Coalition, so we basically enhance the sustainability and climate contributions of the digital sector. And first, it's really the coalition was founded now by 37 companies, CEOs. They're not big, also many are, it's European, but it's actually global. So companies such as Google, Microsoft, Nokia, SAP are all part of the coalition, And now this talk, as you know, is about implementation. So the European Green Digital Coalition really started out as a pledge, and we verified very closely only companies that use science-based targets and could prove that they are having the intention to become carbon neutral by 2040 were able to join. So there was a very rigorous process in place, and there were around 50 or 60 companies who wanted to join but didn't fulfill the standard. But now the European Green Deal, so we started out with a pledge, and now we are very much focused on implementation. And in the implementation, this is what I think would be very interesting for you. So, also with the help of Tracy and partners, we've developed a methodology. So, how do you a net zero impact assessment methodology where you actually can calculate the net benefits of digital? And what is very important across all sectors. So we particularly like we work in urban, like smart cities, buildings, transport, agriculture. So the emphasis is really how to leverage digital in decarbonizing the economy across the sectors. And now imagine if you have an energy efficiency program of a building, you can reduce emissions by 10 to 15% within the first 2 years, and you have a long-term investment. So basically, the net benefits are starting to come in after a couple of years. So, and but what people always wanted is something measurable. So with very rigorous science-based targets, an impact methodology, which you can use to your disposal, and then it also raises the awareness of ministries of finance and ministry of economy. So not only ministry of environment. This is very important for us, or mayors. So 70% of emissions globally actually are caused in cities. So cities are at the forefront, and therefore we also work closely with cities. So Nicosia, for instance, in Cyprus is one of the concrete case studies. And now there are 50 use cases that are being implemented around the world to actually use this methodology in, for instance, Nicosia and the city to assess the emissions in the cities. Now, the third point, and you mentioned also green climate or green growth fund. So, one thing seems critical to leverage this also climate finance. So, if now we can actually show and demonstrate that digital has a positive impact if it's done well, that's a big if, yeah, if it's really done in a responsible manner and science-based target, you can really show and demonstrate it has positive climate effects, makes you positive, well then the digital sector should qualify for climate financing. Because right now, the Green Climate Fund, for instance, or World Bank, TDF, many facilities or green growth funds do not include normally digital. And so this is a very important target because then this also provides, of course, incentives to public-private partnerships for governments and private sector to invest more in sustainability and climate programs in the digital sector. And it seems we've done, and I was also you mentioned the green digital green tech ecosystem, the startups. Unfortunately, venture capitalists or the capital markets, the digital green tech investments are basically a market failure. They're much too low. Why are they too low? Well, there are three factors. First is that you need long-term investments, so patient capital, because the technology is much harder to develop than software, for instance. The second, the incentives are not there. And the third is the overall support to to the government, like risk sharing. So maybe like just to conclude, so we would very much welcome to cooperate closely with you on the European Green Digital Coalition. It's a global, we are moving towards to discuss this a lot with Louis. It's actually a global digital green coalition or digital green coalition. And last, I would like to see also maybe you could share your experiences more with others across the world, Brazil, Kenya, Indonesia, just to give some examples, where we as the European Commission are also supporting green digital programs and this experience, sharing of experience and raising the awareness what can be done would be extremely helpful for policymakers to see that it's not a potential, but the potential can be realized. Thank you.
Fantastic. So, thank you so much. It's interesting that the European Green Digital Coalition was what brought me closer to Taiwan. And it brought me closer to the Minister of Environment of Taiwan. So he was not yet minister, by the way, Mr. Hong. And we were here, we were at COP, not here, but I think it was in Dubai when we met. I was invited to moderate the session, and I spoke about the European Green Digital Coalition. And at the time, Mr. Pong was the chairman of PCP, and then he became minister. And he was very interested in building with this operation. And since then, we have been implementing EGDC in Thailand. So we have now, as the Director General mentioned, we are now really in close contact with Taiwan, and we hope that we will have some case studies also from Taiwan. But I realize that we are short of time, but I think that we need a round of questions, and I will start with Mr. Paul Pong. Uh, and I will ask two questions in one, if you don't mind. Because on one side, you are the chairman of TCP, and TCP, the Taiwan Climate Partnership, is an association that brings together upstream and downstream across the domestic ICT supply chain companies. And your role as CEO of AUO, you are a technology company. So I'd like to understand, or what is your observation about what promising green technologies currently emerging can significantly assist to achieve decarbonization? And also, if you could elaborate a little bit about the role of AI as a technology to help to address climate change impacts.
Okay, thank you, Luis. Thanks for your question. So my answer is that Taiwan is a small island and densely populated, and the development of solar PV green energy is limited by the terrain, where the island is covered 70% of the mountain. So make it difficult to build a large-scale ground-based solar power plants. As a result, the installations can only be done on rooftops or on land that cannot otherwise be used, and only on a relatively small scale. Although Taiwan has excellent wind conditions, the wind turbines can only be built offshore. Therefore, the cost of the both solar and wind power remains much higher than conventional electricity, which is unfavorable for industry uh, development. Compared to energy generation, energy conservation is a more efficient way to achieve carbon reduction. In recent years, the government has encouraged the replacement of equipment with poor energy efficiency, and enterprises now have a strong awareness of energy saving and carbon reduction. In addition, beginning this year, carbon fees are being levied on major electricity users. As a result, manufacturing companies have been actively implementing various methods to save energy and reduce carbon. Achieving very good results and are also making full use of AI tools to reach the level of smart manufacturing. However, both the nation and enterprises must continue to grow, and the demand for green energy is increasing every day. Taiwan's proportion of renewable energy still lags behind international standards, and the pace of developments must accelerate. Otherwise, we will be unable to meet the corporate commitments to RE100 and the 2050 net zero emissions goals. In addition to the ongoing developments of solar and wind power, Taiwan is located on a Pacific ring of fire and has abundant geothermal resources. Being surrounded by the ocean also gives Taiwan an advantage in developing marine energy. Hydrogen energy and nuclear energy are also alternative to green energy options beyond fossil fuels. Furthermore, carbon capture technology can contribute to carbon reduction. However, the initial investments required for this green energy technology is extremely high, and government's leadership is necessary to guide and encourage private investment in their development. Regional cooperation in the joint development of green energy and carbon trading is also a feasible approach in addition to domestic carbon reduction efforts. And Taiwan is quite strong foundation in manufacturing, and as the high-tech industries continue to develop, the demand for electricity is also growing rapidly. However, by effectively using AI tools and applying smart manufacturing methods, it is possible to achieve greater output with less energy. In recent years, the results of energy saving efforts have been significant. AI is also being used for energy management, and with the addition of the energy storage system, power peak and through can be balanced with improving power generation efficiency. As AI continues to grow rapidly, the demand for AI chips and servers is also increasing quickly. Taiwan's advancement in advanced semiconductor manufacturing process have enabled AI computing power to grow by 10 to 100 times, making a substantial contribution to global energy saving and carbon reduction in the use of AI. So above are the answers to me as TCP's chairman. When we look at to the upstream or downstream industries development, those difficulties we face, but also the solutions possible in Taiwan ICT industries we are striving for. So hope all this answer will help to the audience. I can understand the challenge we face, but also the solutions we are striving for. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. Moving on to Director General Tsai. Um, I'd like to know how you see the issue related with tariff barriers. We are facing current uncertainties, and one of them I already mentioned is the rising of trade and tariff barriers. How can Taiwan governments effectively collaborate with industry, making the innovation to maintain competitiveness and drive sustainable growth?
Uh, Thank you, Louis. Uh, uh, Public-private partnership is essential today because climate change are too complex for any single sector. Governments can set the direction through clear policies like carbon pricing, net zero roadmap, and transparent regulation. But I think business drive innovation and the real implementations. So in Taiwan, we see uh, public-private partnership as the core engine of our green transition. Through our Climate Change Response Act and the 2050 Net Zero strategies, the government provides a stable policy framework while industries co-invest and innovate. For example, under the smart and low carbon transformation programs, the leading companies like uh, UAO, TSMC, and the uh, Taiwan Climate Partnership companies, they all work together with the government to apply AI and the IoT for energy efficiency and guide small and medium enterprises on digital decarbonizations. So we also expand green finance and the climate funds to leverage our private investment in renewable energy and low carbon technologies. So far, I think Taiwan and the public and the private partnership is not only about funding, it's about trust and collaboration to accelerate the green transition together. So I think when we promoted the dual transformation, digitalization and the decarbonization, is to strengthen our industrial resilience. The government provides policy clarity and financial incentive. So I think we hope we can work together with the uh, public and the private collaborations. And thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sarah, for sharing your time. And Bjorn, I have one question for you. As technology becomes increasingly vital, information that we are information in all aspects of our lives, how can we bridge the information and digital accessibility gaps between different regions and communities globally?
Thank you. So this is continues to be a huge challenge because currently still around 2.6 billion people around the world actually do not have access to connectivity at all. So we should actually never forget this. Also, so this is on the national level. And then the second, there's a lot of continuous digital divide within countries. So for instance, in Brazil, we're in the Amazon. They're very different access, of course, than in Rio or in Sao Paulo. But this is extremely common across the world. So, it's a tremendous challenge. The second is the affordability gap because a lot of the local and poor communities they cannot afford, for instance, smartphones. So, and the data show that in fact across Africa, for instance, 50% of people who have access to connectivity do not use the internet. So why is this the case? Well, the first is that they don't have the financing to purchase a smartphone or to actually have a plan. So you can have pay as you go plans, but still the costs
Yes,
are still
so
very
thank
high.
you.
The second is
Maximum
that
five
we
more minutes.
all
That's it.
collectively still have to invest much more, I think, especially now with AI, is digital literacy, capacity building. You cannot, like, there's a threat that actually the AI revolution is causing a new AI divide because AI, and it's not only about the actual use, say, of AI tools, but it's the development of AI itself. So, for instance, the data or the algorithms. So, who is actually developing all of these technologies, and how can poor countries or poor communities contribute? So, in many countries, we work as European Commission across Asia, Latin America, Africa. There's a strong demand for also data availability and data sovereignty. The countries can control their own data and also have much more influence on AI. So we have been supporting countries around the world, from South Africa to Kenya, Senegal, also in Asia, Vietnam, to develop their national AI strategies or national data strategies. And here, I think we should embed right away the topic of sustainability because it's essential. The AI boom is causing. I just heard data from the International Energy Agency. The energy consumption will increase 6 times, sixfold, because of the AI. Big companies have announced that they have issues reaching their goals, net zero goals, because of the AI. The increase of 40% of between 20 and 40% of emissions due to data centers. So, but I think here collectively we can make a very important contribution. And I also wanted to share my concluding remarks. So yesterday, the Trump presidency, together with the ITU, launched the Green Digital Action Center, and which is also supported through the European Green Digital Coalition by the European Commission. It's supported by many different actors, and I invite you to take a look at it. And Chris was also supported. And like our vision would be more of a triangular cooperation between like Brazil, Europe, maybe Taiwan if you're interested, and the global south, like Africa, poor countries in Latin America. Just with this triangle, like you have this amazing, rich experience, and it would be very powerful to share this with countries who are not that advanced. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Bjorn. I think that we are running out of time because there are other sessions coming. Listening to the three of you, it seems like we should start now the conversation. Um, so there are so many things that we need to talk about when it comes to technology, AI, and unfortunately, I have to conclude the session. I would like to thank Bjorn, Mr. Paul, Director General Tsai, for being with us today. I wish you a very good day, and we will continue the conversation with ETCP tomorrow and after tomorrow. Thank you so much. Have a good day.